Hello humans, it's just Martine, and this month I'm going to be starting a book every day. Do you ever have those ideas where you're like, you shouldn't, maybe not, and you do it anyway? That's what this month is for me. I avidly have a stacked up currently reading. I love being in the middle of a lot of books, and I thought to myself, what if every day this month I just started a new one? So that's what we're going to be doing. It's February 1st. Happy February. The challenge begins today. Technically, I'll probably be starting more than one book today because I'm still in the middle of Squash That series and I'm trying to finish as many books as possible in this last week so that the team that I'm cheering for will win. But after that, hopefully it will just be one book a day. I'm currently reading 7 books, so I guess we'll just see where we go from here. But day 1, we've started a book, we're off and running. The currently reading was already stacked before. I don't know what's going to happen this month. It's gonna be a crazy one. It's February 2nd, so second day of this challenge, and luckily with the reading I did yesterday, I managed to keep my currently reading the same at the start of the day and the end of the day. And at the end of the day, my currently reading was sitting at 7 books. So I guess we'll see where it lands today. I'm kind of expecting that number to go up, to be honest, not just because I have to start a book today. In fact, I don't think that's going to be the contributing factor. For this challenge, I'll start a book today, but I need to read a Magic Treehouse book today. So that'll be like on my currently reading and off before the day is done. Like that shouldn't matter. But because of Squash That series, I'll probably also start some other books. And so I expect my currently reading number to go up. That might hurt me later on in this challenge, but that's what we're doing. Also, in my journal, this is what I'm doing. I'm keeping track of the day, title of the book that I started that day as like my official one book started every day, and then a column with my currently reading measured at the end of the day. So you can see how high it really goes during this, but so far, so good. It's February 4th, and I have not started a book yet today, but I wanted to tell you that one of the things that I'm working on as I go along is not getting this currently reading number up too high. I think this will get harder after I finish Squash That series because I'll be starting some longer books, and the problem is that these like 5 or 6 books that keep hanging on to this are really long and I'm nowhere near the end of them. So I think that's going to get interesting in a few days. But for right now, I'm keeping it right around 7 or 6 currently reading, no matter what. Some of these days I've started more than one book. I just keep track of the one book that I started, but I'm finishing a lot of books within the day because I'm reading a lot of short stuff. I guess we'll see what happens in the long run is what I'm saying. This week is like a good start to it, but I think it's going to get a lot crazier as we go along. So when I said things were going to get harder, this is what I meant. You cannot tell currently, but it's February 12th. I haven't started a book yet today, and my currently reading is sitting at 7 books. And you're like, that's the same number that you were sitting at in the beginning, too. Like you kept going back to 6 or 7 books. That should be fine for you. But there was a time on Friday I hit 8 currently reading books at the end of the day. It was just getting a little out of hand. It was getting to like 8, 9 book territory. It was scaring me a little, right? And I was nowhere close to the end of any of those books. So this weekend, I worked really hard and I finished some books. 3? I think I finished 3 books. But between Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you'll notice I also had to start 3 books. But I did put in the work this weekend to try and make it so that the situation wasn't getting exponentially worse. And by putting in the work, here's what I mean. I spent 8 hours yesterday panic reading the last 2/3 of Royal Assassin, which is over 700 pages long. Now, I did not start Royal Assassin this month, but I sure did finish it this month because it was sitting on my currently reading. It was freaking me out. I just got it done. Get her done. You know, I've had to start some longer books. Things are going slow. I'm trying my best. So today, I think there's probably not a chance of me finishing a book. I'll probably land on 8 currently reading. I can feel the slight panic starting to grow. Only a fun type of panic. Don't worry, I'm not like legitimately overstressing myself about a silly little video project, but it is daunting. That's the word I'll say. It's daunting, and I don't know how to fix or sustain the situation, really, because I don't have 8 hours today to read, for instance. We'll try our darndest. Just keep reading. That's all I can do at this point is just keep reading. It is February 18th, and things have been heating up around here because on the 15th and the 16th, I hit the highest number of my currently reading so far. And it's a little panic-inducing, I won't lie, because my currently reading was up to 11 books. That's a lot of books. Luckily, between those 2 days, I finished a book, so it stayed at 11 for a day, which was nice. Because for the 5 days prior, it had only gone up every day. And since it's the weekend, yesterday was Saturday, today's Sunday, I am truly reading for my life. And I believe I got that currently reading down to 9 last night. Of course, we have to start a book today, which would bring it up to 10 unless I can finish something today. I think what was most panic-inducing about it going up every day, never going down, getting up to 11, is the idea that I was like, I'm nowhere close to the end of any of these books. And I'm at that point now again, where I got down to 9 yesterday, but that was where my reading went. And now I'm just not very far into all of my books. It's getting interesting. I think I'm still liking this challenge, but it is a little fun panic-inducing. A little challenge. You're like, don't let it get too high. I have a bad feeling about this upcoming week, let me tell you. It's February 23rd, and miraculously, my currently reading has never ended a day above 11 so far, but I think that's about to change. Regardless, the experiment's going well. It sure is interesting. I'm like nowhere close to being done with my TBR for the month, even though it's the 23rd. The crazy thing is I will have to start some books by the end of the month that are not on my TBR because there are more days to start books than there are books left, if that makes sense. But I'll in no way finish my February TBR. That's the weird, like, tension of it. But it's going well. Every day when it's at 11 for my currently reading, it gets a little stressful, but so far we've kept it manageable. It's not like I'm reading like 15 or 20 books at the same time. And hopefully we won't ever be. It's February 26th, and I've still managed to not have more than 11 currently reading books by the end of each day. So I think my goal is to try and carry that through the last few days of the month, to not get over 11 currently reading by the end of a day. I just finished another book, and I finished a book earlier today, so that knocked 2 down, but I haven't started my book yet for the day. So that'll be the next move, but we're so close to the end of February. I can do this. It's the 28th. And in most other years, that would mean it was the last day of this, but no, we have tomorrow. But that's okay, because I do think I'm going to make my sudden last minute goal of staying at 11 or less currently reading, because I'm at 11 currently reading for today after I started my book for the day, but I have 2 books that I can finish tomorrow. I'll start another book, I'll finish at least another book. My currently reading will be at 11 or under on the last day of the challenge. We'll check in, we'll talk about how we feel, it'll be great. I've actually had like fun, spoiler alert, I've had fun with this challenge, but I'm also glad it's almost done. Hello, it's March 4th, so this experiment has been over for a couple days. I've been able to sit with it and reflect, and I wanted to come back and commune with you and talk about it. I did manage both of my goals. I both started 29 books in the month of February 1 every single day, and I kept my currently reading by the end of the night every night at 11 or less. If I had not had spring break during this, I might have died, I don't know. It was definitely a bigger struggle to keep it under 11 than you might think. There are aspects of this challenge that I really enjoyed. Every day I got to look forward to what book am I reading next. I think the biggest problem is that just because I had the advantage of only situating myself in one new world every day didn't mean that that made me understand books better or understand the worlds better, because in fact my most common pattern was to start a book, read the first chapter, move on to reading other things for the day, and it would actually usually take me several days to ever circle back to the book that I had started that day, because I was so overwhelmed with how many books I was reading currently that I had to put most of my reading energy into finishing other books than in actually sitting and enjoying time in this new book I had started that day. I did end the month with 10 books that I was currently reading, which is not great, and is more than I ended January with. I ended January with 7 books on my currently reading. I ended February with 10 books on my currently reading, so went up by 3. And there were some books that I started in January that I made little to no progress on in February, probably because of this challenge. I can't say exclusively because of this challenge, but like it probably contributed. For example, this sci-fi book, I'm still only 160 pages into it. I read maybe 2 chapters of this during the month of February. Even when I wanted to pick it up, I felt like I couldn't justify it because I had like 7 or 8 hours worth of reading to go in order to finish it, whereas I could have devoted 2, 3, or 4 hours to a different book and finished that more easily. So I could have finished multiple other books to keep my currently reading down instead of reading this. So one thing that I've noticed about all the books that I have left over on my currently reading is they mainly fall into 2 categories. Longer books that are speculative fiction, either sci-fi or fantasy. I have a couple chunky fantasies sitting on my currently reading, or nonfiction. It's those two categories. It's not a silly, fun time sitting there currently reading right now. It's just exclusively big brain time, because I would start those, they take longer to read, so I wouldn't make as much progress. I wouldn't justify spending as much time on them. I ran through my silly little books and I left myself in a terrible spot with some of these bigger ones. So March reading will be interesting. But overall, I'm super glad to say that I completed this experiment, because it's something that I've been wanting to do for a while, and so to actually sit down and do it for a month, even if it is a shorter month than usual, is a huge victory to me, and now I know what it feels like, which is helpful. But those are all the thoughts I have on this. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up and comment down below, would you ever try something like this where you start a book every day, even for a week, much less a month? And subscribe for more bookish and college lifestyle content, and until next time, bye humans, bye!